Hello, everyone. My name is David Welsh, and welcome to the Metaphysical Network for Conscious Living. A pleasure to be speaking with you tonight. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Lorraine Jensen. Lorraine is one of our core group, and she has marvelous things to tell us. And so it's going to be very exciting to be talking to Lorraine. Lorraine, how are you tonight?
I'm well, thank you, David. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Lorraine.
Good.
Now, we are doing a presentation. Lorraine is doing the presentation at the Unitarian Fellowship Hall on Thursday, which is April the 3rd, at 7 to 9 p.m. And the location there is 595, uh, excuse me, Townsite Road. So you've probably been there before, but we look forward to seeing you when you get there. And Lorraine, tell us about the title and tell us what you're thinking about it.
Well, the title of the talk, David, thank you, is Calling All Lightworkers.
Mm-hmm.
And why did I choose that title? Well, I love music and I love the song Calling All Angels.
Oh, lovely.
And um, no, seriously, but that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But the title is Calling All Lightworkers because we're at a time where I believe that we need to come together.
Yes,
And I
right.
keep hearing about oneness. Last week Lisa was channeling Hilarion and talked about the power of oneness.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to an event last night and it came up. Paula was channeling about oneness, and the speaker talked about oneness. And everywhere I go, I hear about what's happening in the world, and things are changing, and I hear all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, 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 but what are we doing about it?
Yes, good point.
What are we doing about it?
What are we doing about it? Yes.
Exactly.
So how does
So,
it affect each person's life? Is that what you're referring to?
well, not only each person's life, but
Mhm.
collectively.
Collectively, good. Yes, okay.
I also wrote on my little intro piece that goes on the website,
Hmm.
that Piglet said to Pooh, "It's always greater with two,"
Yes.
which
Okay.
really is a reflection from the Bible of when two or more come together.
Yes, okay.
I have lived in building connections everywhere.
Yes.
And so as a kid, it was all, you never leave anybody out. You're always building some kind of a club or an event or something to make people happy. And I love to do that.
Well, I was just looking at something that I hadn't mentioned, but you've been a facilitator in development groups for over 20 years. You're a licensed life coach, and you've also been leading intention circles for many years. So you've had a lot of experience in this kind of work,
Mhm.
working with people.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter where the people come from. It doesn't matter where I go to facilitate these programs. At the
Hmm.
end of the day, we're all the same. At the end of the day, everybody wants to love and be loved.
Yes.
Everybody wants to be seen and everybody wants to be heard. And yet we make up stories in our lives that stop us from showing up who we are authentically.
That is beautiful stuff because it keeps us separate, doesn't it?
It keeps us separate. And we're not meant to be separate. We're
Okay.
meant to be together. Look at different cultures around the world and how we grew up. Like, for me, being British, we grew up and, everybody lived in their little houses and they came home from work. Everybody went to the pub and they connected and communicated at the pub. We all
Yes. Good point.
shared the same royalty and we all had soccer teams, but
Hmm.
everybody belonged to something.
Yes. Hmm.
Baby bottles all had the soccer team names on them, you know, and everybody wore their jerseys. And if I still see somebody in a British jersey or a soccer jersey, I look and I give them the thumbs up.
Right.
Because
So there's all that connection and that
its
was comforting
connection is
and
everywhere,
meaningful. Uh-huh.
and we have to
Wonderful.
look for it.
Uh-huh. Well, the topic that you are bringing up then is, I'm thinking, connected with what you're saying.
Where it's all connected, and
Calling
we're
all
all
light workers.
connected. And the question is, again, what are we doing about it?
Well, let me ask you the question. Are we light workers ourselves?
Aren't we all?
I like the question. It sounds rhetorical and you get a yes for that.
Thank you. I believe in, I do. I believe we all know everybody has even people that don't believe, maybe they use the word coincidence instead of
Mhm.
connecting, but
Okay.
I really believe for me it's all about connection.
Yes.
And then I see it all the time. And when I'm thinking about you and my phone rings and I go, oh, hi, thanks for taking my
Hmm.
call. And you say, no, I called you. I say, no, actually, I called you first. Um, and, over the years, my mom would come into her condo and the phone would be ringing and she'd say to my dad, oh, that's Lorraine, because she just always knew that it was me phoning. And,
Wonderful. Yeah.
and yet my mom doesn't claim herself to be a light worker.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right? Because I don't even know really the language of light wire to look it up,
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Well,
and how many,
I've heard of light language as well. That's quite an interesting thing, and
what
we've had somebody doing that. Isn't that interesting?
it is interesting. And what does that mean?
Hmm.
When I came to Metaphysical Network, I thought that everybody there was going to be gurus in the metaphysical world. And what I learned was that all of us were there, many of us were there, because we had callings, we had connections, we had things that were happening and we don't really know what to do with them,
Yes.
and that's
Yeah.
really
Right.
what I want to talk about that
Mm.
night is
Mm.
that we giving people doing it together,
Okay. Yes.
doing increasing the energy. I mean, we're all energy. We're all energy.
Well, Lorraine, I find that when people leave our meetings, they seem to be empowered in a lot of different ways.
Absolutely.
Will that be an experience that you will be passing on to us?
I certainly hope so.
It's going to be a wonderful evening, I can tell.
Well, it's going to be a wonderful evening because we're all together.
Yes. Hmm.
You know,
Well, uh, I'd like to tell people actually what we do because we are the Metaphysical Network for Conscious Living, and I didn't mention that, but basically what we do as a group, and you're part of that group, we help people seeking community, connection, and spiritual development to feel inspired and empowered by providing enlightening experiences through seminars, workshops, podcasts, such as we're doing right now, fairs, and conferences. That's what we do. And I'm finding that that's very fulfilling for the people that are doing it.
I believe it to be true. I see it every week.
Lorraine, what can you give us as we can think about looking forward to the meeting? Something to think about because, of course, the meeting again is at not a 595 town site, and that's at the Unitarian Fellowship Hall. We ask for a donation of $15. What should we be looking forward to before we get to the meeting?
That's a really good question. We can be looking forward to coming away with simple ways that we can remind the world that we're all love and nothing but love. I said this to my friend the other day. We were talking about being purposeless and kind of looking for purpose in life right now. And I said, right now in the world, they're creating robots to replace us, to drive our cars, to do all kinds of things for us. And we have AI to think for us. But as
Yes.
far as I know, AI can't love for us at this point.
Mm, yeah.
And, love is the answer to everything. And maybe just focus on, how much you love and remind other people that you love them too, because
That was
that's
so
what's going to
wonderful.
change the world.
Well, I so appreciate that. And, I'm just thinking of a little incident the other day. I was at the dollar store and there were a couple of people outside. And the young woman had made soup, or actually it was more of a cereal for her partner. And it was clear that they were down on their income and down on their luck and various things like that. And it was wonderful to be helpful and uplifting in the ways that I was able to speak to them anyway. Those are the kind of things that I think are very touching for me. And I'm thinking that that experience isn't uncommon for other people as well. It was to say, you're loved, you're very special, you're important, wherever you are and whatever you're doing.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
somehow we forget that. Just so you know, your lips aren't moving anymore, so you look like a ventriloquist.
Oh my. Are they moving now?
No, I can't see you. Your
Oh.
video's off, but that's okay. I hear your message loud and clear.
Well, in that case, I think it's about time to let people ruminate, think about, get prepared for Thursday, the April the 3rd at Townsite. Looking forward to seeing you, and thank you ever so much for this lovely interview,
Thank
Lorraine.
you, David. Have a wonderful day.
And have a wonderful day to you and everyone who will be coming. Have a wonderful day as well.
Okay, see you then.
Be- Best wishes.
Bye.
Bye bye.